Welcome back across space and especially time this week to Captain's Quadrant. I am your co host of Captain's Quadrant, Captain Dove, and with me as always is Ensign Jason. And we are here to talk specifically about Star Trek, but this week, as we've been doing for the last few weeks, Star Trek Picard. And this week was quite a doozy. This show has been going on leaps and bounds and improvements from the first season and then just took a giant swerve. It's hard to port and threw us all off for quite the loop. But let's get into today's episode 4 of Picard.
Fantastic. Let's do it, Joe.
All right. Well, I have to say that this one had a lot of, it's called The Watcher. And basically Picard goes, I'm going to give you my own personal summary this week instead of reading the actual one. This one has the scene going back in time. There is some distress as Rios has been arrested by ICE, and Picard has stumbled upon his old chateau, and the Borg Queen and Dr. Girardi have their own tit for tat, and we get a brand new cop show with Seven and Raffi. And I think that's the most eloquent way to describe this episode. So let's jump into the pros and cons.
Excellent. Pros and cons.
Yes.
All right.
I'll let you go first before I start to berate this one.
Look, before you start ripping it to shreds, I don't know if I had the same amount of issues you had with it, but I did have issues with this episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, the most obvious thing, which they do address in the episode, it does smack a lot of A Voyage Home, where they've taken that idea and concept, and we've now got some of our, all of our Picard main characters in 2024. And, you know, it pretty much starts off where last week's episode finished. And I didn't mind that too much. But, yeah, look, I don't know how much I like the splitting up of the characters. It's very heavily on – it's all about immigration this week, right? I mean, that's – yeah, you know, your US immigration policies, and they're kind of trying to address it like that, where – I'm okay with them. I mean, Star Trek is built upon dealing with big things, social things. Mm-hmm. But what I'm concerned about with this show is that you're taking a political stance. Before, it's very bipartisan. It's got nothing to do with sides. But I feel like there's a very strong liberal agenda, which I agree with most do. And I don't want to get into the US politics because I'm from Australia. But it does seem it's a very one-sided political point of view. And,
correct.
Yeah, I don't know how comfortable I kind of feel with that. I think it detracts from the show. But the core issues where it does feel like it's a little bit of lazy screenwriting this episode. It felt a very nothing kind of episode for me. And you're right about the buddy cop scenario. It just felt like that was gap filler. I didn't even know what they really did in that episode.
They were to find Rios. Like
they find Rios and we steal a cop car. Right.
It threw me for a loop. I mean, in the beginning, it was cool to see the same exact character from Star Trek 4 in the exact space.
Of the episode.
Yeah, that was the highlight, and that was the big pro of the episode. It's all over the internet.
Yeah. And it was great. It's just the way he did it, though. Like,
you know what?
Reaches for his neck.
Yeah,
and he's like he learned.
Right.
It obviously made a big impact because this is, if that was 1986, they were in The Voyage Home.
Right.
This is what
2024.
Like it's coming up to 40 years later,
and
it obviously made an impact. And he clearly hasn't evolved too much as a person.
No, I felt bad for him. Like, what happened? No opportunities. Like,
still got the mohawk.
Still
the bus after 40 years.
No hope.
Didn't work out well for him.
No, he's really waiting for. I mean, last episode was so good. They took us on a journey. They're showing us a lot of the things that a lot of Deep Space Nine connections that have started from the beginning of the season, and you're almost expecting, like we had a future speculation last week, maybe there was going to be a character that we knew from early in Next Generation. Maybe it was going to be Geordi. Maybe it was going to be a Vulcan that was part of the First Contact pre-screening group. And we had this shadow cast because they mentioned in the future when it's the Confederation that General Cisco was setting up for something. And we know from Deep Space Nine that this is the time of the basic rich and poor segregation, where all of the poor were basically cast in their own society, walled off. Another pull of certain American political individuals. They were walled off in their own society, and you had the Bell riots. And I really thought that this was going to kind of touch on that, and then they went into this hard ICE is bad type of thing. I'm a son of people that were brought here justly, and a son of people that migrated here. So, it's tough for me to have my own view on that because of the situation that is my being. So I'm not going to really comment on that whole trajectory. But
can I just say too, even though I'm a white guy, my people were brought over unjust too, because we're
that's right. We're convict nation. Yeah, that's right.
We're in prison, mate. So my
I forgot about that.
Are criminals. Well, their version of criminals,
Yeah. What's also interesting is the true King of England lives in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know about that? Okay,
cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's just a lot of divergence this weekend.
Okay, let's get to it. The Watcher, right? And
let's go for that.
And it's Elnor, right? That's the Watcher. That's what they're
the woman.
Yeah, the woman, Elnor, I believe. Was it Laris? Sorry, Laris.
Laris, yeah, not Elnor.
No.
Elnor's dead.
Yeah, it's Space Legolas. He's totally
right. Correct.
Yeah. Laris.
Now, Laris.
When you're talking about when they talked about General Cisco, and we know the actor playing Cisco wouldn't return. He's given up acting and all that. But because it was 2024, why couldn't you have recast? They recast and did a younger Guinan in this episode.
Right.
Who when you're talking about being thrown off, I was thrown off early, but as the scene went on, I kind of dug it. And
it made up for
quite well.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially because I know his love for pit bulls, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And incorporating his, I think that's his personal, though it may not be, but don't quote me on that. But incorporating that.
But for me, it was like, if you recast Guinan, you've set up Cisco as being a potential Watcher. Why wouldn't you have used him? It really, instead of going, oh, wow, that's Cisco the Watcher, this is going to be great. You've now got Laris coming back, obviously in disguise, because she hasn't got her pointy ears. But
that was weird too.
Or eyebrows, but essentially it just raises more questions, and to me it just keeps the storyline, this universe, very small, rather than expanding it more.
Right. Star Trek is probably just like Star Wars, where it has this massive, massive universe. It tends to pigeonhole itself with the Borg and Romulans. And there's so many different types of aliens and species out there to kind of base your story on. And to spend time going back and you still have the Borg threat again, it's like...
Yeah. But that I can go with. I can go with that. And I can go with that.
The way they brought it up was cool. Like, this works.
Yeah.
But, next season, no Borg, please,
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite parts the last two episodes has been the interaction between Agnes and the Borg
and the Borg Queen.
I'm liking that a lot. I really am liking that a lot. But besides that, expand, push out. Let's see some new. Let's make why couldn't the Watcher have been a brand new species we hadn't even heard of? If you were
that'd have been cool.
Cisco,
especially if you're going to bring Guinan in, which we know very little about her species.
Yeah.
The Elorians.
The Elorians, and You know, because to me, that scene, that's where it started. As soon as he said Alorian and she looked at him, well, she got that sickness as well, the time sickness.
Yeah.
That's where that scene changed. Because she was so defiant, like, get out, we're done. I don't care. Oh, man, go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as that happened, then it kind of clicked into gear. The other thing I want to talk about, well, I was curious to see whether you were a pro or con of this, was the final moment with Q.
Yes, that's a pro. That's the major pro for me.
Yeah, it is a pro, isn't it? Where he tries to change her destiny.
And nothing happened.
Which then buys into why Q is so concerned about what's going on.
Right.
And I think that is the hook for me to keep watching 100%.
Right.
Is this how Q really plays into this and what is happening with the Q continuum.
Or what's happening with this particular Q.
Yeah, that's right. Is it this Q or is it part of the whole group of Qs? Like, we kind of don't know. But, it's a little bit sluggish. Just felt very much a nothing episode for me.
It's a nothing burger. And it was the other weird thing is you had an opportunity to present something new, like you said, with the Watcher. And I'm wondering if that's an even bigger throw than we thought. And that's why it's Laris. And Laris is not a Romulan after all. She's another species altogether that's just been hiding and kind of watching over Picard.
Ooh, yes.
But that is a future speculation.
Ooh, that is a. Should we move into future speculations?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. I've got one straight off the bat because you've just mentioned that now.
All right, go for it.
What if Laris is actually a Q herself or a threat to Qs? So you're talking about she's been in hiding. Yeah, maybe she is. Maybe she's an evil Alorian and we don't know. Because Guinan. Oh, no. Because Guinan's terrified of her. In that
I noticed that.
They meet
she'll bite your eyelids out. Whoa.
Yeah, so
there's something there.
There is something there, 100%. What else future speculation do you reckon, Joe, we got going?
I have a feeling that there is a part of Dr. Girardi that has been assimilated by the Borg Queen. And that is going to pop up in the next episode or two. Because
the other... Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because the way that the Borg Queen's face has been, and it, I know this is a time loop because the beginning is the end at the same time.
Yep.
The beginning of season 2 is also going to be the end of season 2. And when that Borg Queen came on the ship, she had a complete helmet on. And she had a long gray trench coat type thing.
Yeah.
And she knew about Picard's mother's phrase, "Look up, Jean-Luc." So, back in the day, I thought it was his mom, and they did some really weird timey-wimey thing. But now I'm thinking, I think that might be Girardi. I think Girardi has become assimilated and is in a new type of Borg Queen.
Yeah.
And refractors the universe.
Well, yeah. I mean, Agnes, do you think Agnes is going to get turned? Because they're playing with that. Well, like right at the end of the last scene, the Borg Queen and Agnes had, the Borg Queen reminded her of how good it felt.
Right.
To be connected. And we know Agnes, based on the previous season, is susceptible to manipulation.
Yes.
I mean, that was one of her big arcs in the first season, where she literally got talked into killing someone, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And so she's definitely susceptible emotionally to be taken over. Well, maybe not taken over, but being heavily influenced by the Borg.
Right, and pushed.
Which then she'll do something which then will engage whatever is going to happen after that for the Borg Queen to get to the stasis where we saw at the beginning of the first episode.
Right.
When I saw that episode, I thought, this must be a highly evolved Borg Queen from 500 or 1,000 years in the future. But it's not looking like that, is it?
No.
So,
I'm thinking it's Agnes coming back, opening up that time rift because, you noticed it was not the typical Borg shape. It wasn't a sphere and it wasn't a square.
No, it was a
It
very
almost
kind of angular
right.
thing with a
Well, at first I thought for a second, is this a crystalline entity? You
yeah.
know, it had because it had so
But
much different various shapes.
yeah.
So I'm wondering if she somehow ends up assimilating the ship because the Borg Queen is so connected into the ship. She could be
Yeah.
in other parts of the ship, slowly taking it over and not realize, and the crew might not be realizing.
I mean, I hope that's the case because actually, what you're suggesting sounds way better than what we saw this week.
Guys,
yeah.
people at Paramount, if you want me to write, just let me know. I can throw ideas. You guys just fill out all the blanks. There you go.
There you
But
go.
yeah, but I really think that that's where it's leading. I think Agnes is going to get turned. There's going to be some type of either amalgamation of Agnes and the Borg Queen, or Agnes becomes the Borg Queen, and that Borg Queen says, "All right, well, I'm going to sacrifice myself to get us back to the future, so to speak." And then she assimilates the ship and Agnes, and now Agnes is the Borg Queen.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
what do
cool.
you and then what do you think's going to happen with Rios? Where does this go?
They're going to break Rios out, and
they're going to break him out. They're without question. And that's what really, to go back to Protocol, that's what's annoying about that particular storyline is we know how it's going to play out. So
it's a very
yeah. But hopefully they do something interesting with it. But being that's the 4th episode, and this is probably the first blip we've had in the season, I'm still very encouraged, Joe. Where this series is going. So
absolutely,
I can't wait for next week, which is apparently called "Fly Me to the Moon." Is the title of their next episode. Which, you know what it says to me? What was the name of this? He's died. I think he's passed away, unfortunately. But the name of the lounge singer from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, Vic Fontaine?
Yeah, Vic Fontaine. So it would be
he's
so
passed?
cool if I thought he passed.
I know Sinatra, who that guy emulated, passed, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta look it up.
No, I don't think the character passed. It was more the because the character
he was a hologram. But, he couldn't.
But I think the actor who played him, but recast it, doesn't matter. But,
I mean, there's plenty of Frank Sinatra, singers out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you never know how they will kind of intertwine this, because if this season is anything, there is a strong Deep Space Nine vein running through this. And I think if you're going to continue to go that way, you've got to bring in characters from the show.
Yeah.
Like, there are still actors out there. Yeah, bring them in,
Yeah.
Obviously, some have passed, but certainly you could bring in, like, why wouldn't you get, what's his name, to put on the Quark makeup one more time?
Yeah, Armin Zimmerman.
Yeah, Armin Zimmerman. Why wouldn't you get, I'm sure he'd do it. But we'll wait and see. But I honestly, a big blip in this episode. If I had to rate it, it would be not a good rating, but we'll see what transpires.
So, good news is Vic Fontaine, his name is James Darren, still alive.
Yep. Yay!
He's still alive. He's in Philly, so he's in the second Hollywood. That's the new big thing in America. Philadelphia is the new Hollywood. And he's 85 years old. So Picard is 81. Patrick Stewart's 81. He can do it. He can come in.
Hey, I like the way they've handled the whole age thing,
Yeah.
By making Q going, oh, well, I'll catch up. That's the way.
Right.
Going and saying, look, it makes these people feel more comfortable if I look like them.
Right.
So I like the way they're kind of handling the age stuff. So, I would like to see, and if you're going to, like I said, repeating myself, you're bringing DS9 stuff, let's bring in a DS9 character.
No.
I mean, really, if I wanted to argue anything, it's just like 7 of 9 had no connection with Jean-Luc Picard at all.
At least
she got a starring role in this show.
At least Picard was on Deep Space Nine. He never set foot on Voyager.
Yeah.
So that would be an amazing thing to bring somebody in. I mean, you've got Andrew Robertson. He can pop in. He's still running around. Garrick.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Would love Like my nerd. Oh my god, I'd have a nerdgasm big time.
Yeah, same,
We get to see
same.
Garrick one more time. Just,
I would love that.
I'm getting chills thinking about it. If you're watching Star Trek Riders, which you're probably not, but if you are, you still got time. Get Garrick in this show.
Just one last time. Just want one last. Oh, of course, Doctor. Especially the lies.
Yes. That's great. Oh, well, that's all I had this week.
Yeah, that's about it for me, too.
I think the more we dig into it, the more we probably get frustrated. We're probably better off leaving it as is, I would say.
Yeah, totally agree.
Not the greatest, but
no, this is
still have hope for the series. A lot of hope.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have home runs at every game, right?
Nah.
I don't know if that translates actually, but in baseball, you saw Deep Space Nine, the Niners, the baseball team. You can't have home runs at every game, so
exactly.
You got to have some stinkers to make you appreciate the better episodes.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Oh well, I guess, but that's it.
Yeah, so let's sign off, friends, family, transgender species. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe our new show, Captain's Quadrant, with your friends and family, and even your enemies if you can. Please be sure to subscribe to Pop Culture Spread, which is run by our good ensign Jason. Yes, he's got the Transformers-esque t-shirt on. And
no, it's actually Lethal Weapon font.
Oh, Lethal Weapon font. Oh, come on, guys.
Yeah. I've got the mug as well, and if you spin it around, see, I'm too old for this shit.
Oh, perfect.
Lethal Weapon.
And as you see, they have merch. So make sure you hop on over to their merch store. We'll put the link down below. And you can go and grab some of that sweet 80s themed Pop Culture Spread merch. You can go to Clapper to be seen and grab some merch. We got buttons for Comic Conversation, a t-shirt left.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and some stickers. So there's nothing like it. And I've got a bunch of This Dungeon magnets. So Clapper to be seen. Check us out. Get some merch. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. And give us your future speculations. Let us know what you think. Are our theories too wild? Are we so far out there that we've gone into the Gamma Quadrant and not realized where we are in space and time? Let us know. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for watching Captain's Quadrant.
See you guys. Well, there you go. See you guys.